was just saying before that cover comes off. Because there was another bit that came off before that.
Right.
That bit come off. Right. Is that bolted to anything with it? That's it. Oh, right. That's it. So it's just sat. Need to go in a little bag, don't they?
Drain hose for all bearings off here.
Oh, the top frame, isn't it? Yeah, that's right. Oh, there's another one there, look.
No.
They go all the way along.
No, this is split wrong. You don't need that.
Oh, are they?
Wrapping paper.
Oh, I see.
Here too, the tools wrapped in paper.
Are they? So they are.
Easy instructions.
You don't need this one.
Oh, that's why they made it like that.
These ones are very dirty.
I suggest you don't.
I have.
That's 9 pounds. Oh, there's some at the bottom.
There are an awful lot of bits in these boxes.
Jonathan, could you bring it over here? Look, just take a picture of this.
Because look, so that we remember. How you tuck this away? Because two screws there. Okay.
Yeah.
That's it. And they lift off. So we can leave the screws in place.
Right. I'm not sure whether I can
Just
get
your side now, Barry. Did we start taking this wheel off?
Can I have
one.
that? And we haven't got this side off yet. But actually, so they just.
There's loose in
Right,
them.
now,
And those ones you remove entirely, presumably.
now these ones. All will gradually come clear, I expect. The whole machine's built around a huge, great frame, isn't it?
Right. Ready to go?
Certainly getting there. Right, in here, can you quickly go through these? Because there's quite a lot of subtle packing to all of this.
Yeah, well, I suggest we get them all out.
Yes, but it's the
unpack
packing, as opposed to the unpacking I'm interested in. If you...
them. What's this? Was that in there?
Yes. Bearings and seals, so that's our bit, that doesn't go back. Right, so you can just put that down. Now, if you could quickly undo some of them. I've had a look in the boxes.
There's a nasty sharp look.
Yeah, that's from the lid of this. Which
Oh, that's
folds
the
over.
lid rather than.
Yeah. Okay. Now I've had a fertile through there, which is obviously some kind of collar.
Well, can we lay them all out here?
Okay.
Let's take them out. So that. We lay them all out like this. That's all in that box.
That obviously makes a kit of something. Okay.
Right. Oh yeah, this is pretty obvious what these are. I should do it once we got them all out, dear. Otherwise, you'll have a load of film of absolute rubbish.
Yes, it was how it was packed I was interested in.
Yeah, well, we
No, because I don't know if in those bags you take them out, they're going to be in kits, you see.
It's got bags here. Look, jiffy bags, any bags.
I don't bloody know, do I? No, that's a kit of stuff.
Yeah, well, that's why I'm putting it as. Well, that's one lot of stuff.
Yeah, well I've recorded it, so we have to pack it up, we can see how to.
Oh,
That's Patrick's.
what's left of it.
later on this morning I have got a couple of pallets of stuff coming up from shore that we've got to store in here somewhere. So I suppose you put it outside and weave in there.
See why they say have the pack of tools, you'd never do it otherwise. Christ almighty. Oh, this must be the hardest thing, I should think. I'll put each thing as it comes out.
Yeah.
See?
And it's notable that they were all packed in individual subgroups.
How about that one?
I think that one goes up in here. Oh, no, there. Sorry about that.
That's obviously something to do with that. It's an extractor of some sort, isn't it? Tiny noses. I think we're going to be on this for tomorrow somehow.
It will do.
That's to do with that one.
Let's see what you got in there.
We're nearly coming to the end, will you please?
That's 1, 2, 3, 4 bolts.
Three there. That's it. Right.
Splendid. And there are these two components I took out earlier. Big spanner and a bar for it.
So we've got to be very careful to keep them. Put that over there, I think.
No, that was part of that kit.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
They're obviously all designed as kits, so I think one wants to keep them separate until we worked out what they do. Right then.
That's a goodies. Right.
Should we go?
On the page. All right.
Hang on.
Okay. Got it?
Yeah.
Okay, well, when we've got it in place, we'll take another picture of it so that we can
Okay.
see how the hell it... This is so complicated. Oh, actually, that's very clever. I have to say, that is clever. We haven't got any of this. With the washing machines, you have to have somebody else to hold the blessed thing, don't we? The small ones.
Why don't we get the top in first, like that?
That's it, then you tighten it up with a nut, don't you?
Let's not have a bit more.
But will the screw in a bit? Look, I think we've got to screw it.
The thread's on the bottom bit, I think. It's not all threaded.
Why the hell?
The bit in your right hand
There's
is...
nothing in there. It screws into nothing.
That's very clever.
And so you insert it from inside and come out.
Well, that depends. Depends on how it's made.
Okay.
I would say.
Right, well, so far so good. Right.
Right, I think you're allowed to get near through. That's it.
Bottom fixing piece
Probably by means of
we
the
were missing.
sleeve.
So instead we went for a wooden block. That went right through.
Having previously
Fixing
fixed
the
safety flange
suspension.
and remove the nut.
In the manual, it goes on to talk about removing the the basket pulley, and in fact the instructions refer to a different make. The key, which nonetheless they've supplied, is nothing to do with it, and at the back of the manual it explains that it really is as you would expect in these diagrams.
Let's hope to God's sake.
That you remove the Allen bolts as you'd expect,
Now they're
and screw them
metric, so it
clockwise
should be
into
one
the
of
other
these.
holes, and then that'll remove the tapered section. Very difficult to understand the diagram because they don't label the Allen keys properly. And then we go back to the main instructions.
Oh, this is that one.
Is it that one?
I think it is. Yes. But they're not made of crap metal.
So putting them back in the other holes. Point essentially.
Well, it's all come off. We'll take a quick flick of that.
Okay.
That's
and,
that.
And
right.
so what happened when you did the bolts? Just the whole wheel came
yes,
off?
the whole wheel comes off.
Okay.
No, quick one of that. That's it. Right. Okay, let's go and put this away
Do you
now.
want these here or next time?
Here, if you can... Okay, so do you want to, as it were, put it on?
Right, it's coming off.
Okay, that came off with that on there and twatting it with a metal mallet.
Okay, right.
Okay.
Right, okay.
Right.
Don't need that anymore, Barry.
No, okay. No, well, you will need it to put it back.
Okay, next bit of the task is
One.
to remove the seal holder cover of the rear bearing and replace the end
You
ring.
want that out first, Barry.
Right.
Right.
Look,
Okay.
let me just go and put this down.
It also then says, remove the coupling that fixes the rear bearing by means of the special key RE180364. It is necessary a nylon hammer or a heavy hammer. It's another one of these funny ring things.
Oh, to get this out.
Might as well. I've started so I'll finish, as they say.
No, it's
It's just catching on there, go on. It's on the thread there, that's all. Go on. Your end it is, Barry. Mine's free. Yeah, down the bottom there. That's it, look. That's it. Just hook it over the thread, haven't you? Yeah.
There's
It looks as
somebody,
though it's rotated on the shaft slightly, hasn't it? And hence it's
well, it
catching.
had. But somebody's knackered one of the little teeth.
Some
Yes.
bloody French.
Or no, but this would have been a Spanish man actually. 'Cause it's Spanish, this.
So Spanish.
Yeah, it wants more bigger screwdriver.
Your end.
Coupling that fixes the rear bearing by means of the special key 364. 364 is that one on the ground behind you.
And what do we do with it?
Yep, let's just check. That is 364. There we go.
Yes, it is.
Yep.
And we put
Okay. And it isn't necessary a nylon hammer or a very heavy hammer. Remove the coupling that fixes the rear bearing. So presumably you screw that on, and does it withdraw it? Is that
No, it
another
doesn't
puller?
screw on. There's nothing to screw it to. God almighty.
Well, it must be virtually there because the next bit of the instruction.
Well, I suppose the whole thing would run forward if this these came out, wouldn't they? You'd have the drum coming out of the front of the machine. a block of buildings opposite him. He looked out over the marsh before, and they were very naughty and built where they shouldn't have.
And now we find...
No, it's done. Done.
I would have been... What that is the bearing plate. This is the bearing plate.
Okay, do you want to turn it so you can have a...
Just turn it so you can see it. See, that's the back end of it.
Hang on, no. It won't
Keep
focus.
it in focus.
Can you turn it up?
Hang on, just hold it still.
I'll just wind the film back.
How about me in this shot?
There you go.
Well, where's the suspension
Come where
point?
you are, Patrick.
Well, if you're going to suspend it, unless it's in here, Barry.
It must be here somewhere.
Look.
Okay, so we've tightened up a knot there. Suspend it.
That's it.
Okay, do you want to point it out? Now we're about to...
There.
I bet that's it. Yeah, that's, if you attach something to that, that'll support the thing underneath.
So where does that go down to?
I don't know, we'll find out in a minute. All will come clear. This is the next thing we've got to do. Oh look, that's that bit, isn't it? Somehow or other.
So what do you do now?
So we put this bracket in place.
Yep.
We remove all these bolts.
Yep.
We draw that out a fraction, and then from this suspension point that we put on the top there, you put a piece of wire around the shaft and haul it up taut. And you can then remove this. You can then take the whole of this bearing housing off,
Right.
and the drum won't drop down and collapse.
Right.
That's it, basically. Then we start on whatever's inside there.
Right. And indeed, that's the suspension unit there.
It's a long size.
That's the suspension unit.
All the bolts removed from around the bearing housing. While suspended from the supporting bracket in place with the wires attached underneath, 2 wires in this case.
So how many of those do you now put in, having taken all the others out?
Yeah, because otherwise you can crack the casting, I expect. Look, if I do one side and you do the other side, Patrick.
We could do, your side. We'll do just 2 side ones first.
Oh, I see.
We get them all in and then before we start.
Yeah, I'll just lift them up first.
So are you getting...
Well, I think we both do it together, though.
Yeah, I don't know whether we need... Oh, actually, I don't think we're going to need...
The top ones.
No, it's coming off already, isn't it? Yeah. Just a sec. Mine's not good. My ratchet's not a very good ratchet. It's falling to pieces. I don't know whether I'm see light through.
Okay.
As long as we keep it reasonably open.
If you keep it together, it's a even then, isn't it?
Yes. Yes, otherwise you'd have to be running from one side. Oh, oops, this thing's packing up. There's a crack. You're about the same distance as I am.
Yeah, about 1/4 inch.
Yeah, I'm about 1/4 inch too. Quarter, right? I presume we have to. Perhaps we should just check and see if we're both out about the same distance.
Yeah, 1/2 inch.
Oh, actually, I think I'm out a bit further than you. Patrick,
Yeah?
yes, I am. I think. Aren't I? Yes, I think I've got ahead of you.
Right.
You can do a couple. Perhaps we better do the side ones now.
Right. Is that going to go through that bearing? It doesn't look it's bound to, does it? You see the thread?
Yeah,
You see the bearing ring?
yeah.
Are you with me?
About the diameter of one of those tools they had. Do you think you're meant to screw it onto there and then move the whole thing? There is some collar that comes off first. Although actually that's got a flange on it there. So that couldn't come over this. But that could come forwards.
Where's the new back bearing? Let's have a look. It hasn't got a thread like that, has it?
No, but the tool has. And you did say that one of these was for removing some kind of seal.
And that could be why that's indented a bit. Go against.
Yes, because that would go in, whereas this would be fluffy against that surface.
Does that go against the edge of the... That
And it also looks as though this is greasy. Whatever that's been against will be very greasy, which would be right if it was a bearing.
Is that the same diameter? Would you measure that?
Have you got any calipers?
No, I don't think we have.
Not here, I suppose, is the answer.
Have you got my camera somewhere?
That direction, because of the bending on the metal.
Well, it ought to be doing something. I don't know what it's doing, but... Oh look, we can see it on where that...
Smooth.
Is it coming forward? Oh, it's suddenly coming loose. Whatever it's doing.
That's the bearing retainer, isn't it?
Oh! Brilliant! Oh, it goes inside.
Just shows you need the kit. Now what would have happened if we hadn't had that, Patrick? That would have been a right bugger up, wouldn't it?
Yeah. Right, now we can take the bearing out as well.
So,
Yeah, let's
look,
have a look at that.
it's got a
Has it-
split there, split collar. Ah, so
Oh,
that
my
tightens
cards.
up on the...
Hang on, can you turn it sideways? You've got to turn it over more. Thanks. Okie doke.
Got it?
Yep.
And that goes in there. Come round here and you can see where it goes in. See? Got it?
Sorry, is it different from this side? I can't see.
No, it isn't, but you can get the light in there.
Okay.
Right, now I'll go and put this down, so next in line, okay?
Okay, yep.
Right, switch off.
Okay, we forgot that section, so in fact,
So we
we
need
are
to-
now going to be back to the bolts coming out.
Wouldn't that
Because-
bracket that.
That's got to go back now. Yes, otherwise it's going to descend on our feet, actually.
Because we found that taking this back housing off,
Now, you found that...
it might work better the other way around.
We're all right.
We found that taking the back housing off, it was apparently getting stuck, and this was because the bearing retainer was not removed.
Hang on a second until I've got it well supported, Patrick. Just a sec. I think that wants to just tighten up just slightly. See?
Can you imagine what doing this in a corridor behind a machine would be like if it was all bolted down? What a nightmare.
Yes, we've got loads of space here, haven't we?
Wouldn't that be horrible, Patrick? And I bet people do have to do it like that.
Oh yeah.
Yes, I bet they do. Well, it wouldn't be quite so bad. Ah, I wonder whether we need to do these up in case the thing goes sideways.
That seems a good idea.
Because it could easily do that. And I would think you say, Alan, can you let me do these up? It suddenly struck me. If it goes and shoots off to one side, the whole lot will collapse then, won't it? And it
Could
could
do.
bend it wouldn't only bend this one, it would bend the front of the machine as well.
Yes, that's very true. And is the nut actually taut?
Do you see it jump?
Unlike before, the whole thing is moving easily.
Oh yes, it is. It's coming off quite easily.
Yes, and you can see it all wobbling on the shaft now.
I think the bearing must be out now.
I think if you just grab it, it'll move now. The whole thing's blatantly loose. You can see at the front it's dropped.
Is it?
Yes, on the shaft.
Okay, well, let's...
Hold that man there, Barry. Hold it.
That's it. No, we can't take it any further because of the... What's that? A piece of string?
No, it's a plastic.
Mastic?
Oh, well, we'll find out later. I think it's got to go this side and up the other side of the rubber
So you've got to be quite
pass
careful
it.
you don't go and damage whatever's in there.
Got it? Yeah. Right. I'm not quite sure what we're going round.
We're on this.
Well, I suppose if it does drop a little bit, you can still jack it up with this thing, can't you, afterwards?
That should come out, yeah?
That's it. So now, oh, the Allen key. I think that'll need severely editing, John, because otherwise it's going to be...
Oh, I know, but
It's going to be far too long for this.
it doesn't honestly matter though, because you simply
Yeah.
come back and forward wind it.
I want my... Here we are.
That still looks as though it's under a compressive force. The whole shaft is dropping.
See that now?
Well, perhaps the thing next, Patrick, was...
So, for the camera, Patrick, water in there, you say?
Water bearings.
You see that grease, it's all got water in it, they've got the wrong type of grease. See? It's got amalgamated with the water.
Look, there's a seal. I don't like the idea of that, do you? Not much of a seal, is it?
No. No, it isn't, is it? I would have thought they would have had a double or treble one at least.
Oh, not all.
Hello. Hello, hi.
See, look at the water down there.
Yeah.
Oh, well done. Oh, congratulations.
Well, there's
Did you have to go up?
there's the outlet. Look for the water down there.
Well, you were pretty much decided
Supposed to
anyway,
go
weren't
through
you?
there and then fall.
How long do these last for? then?
Well done. You must feel delighted. Are you delighted also in the sense that you
Well,
paid
what the
not a
guys
penny
do,
more than you absolutely
well,
had to?
Where is the seal? Is that?
That's nice, isn't it?
That looks like silicone.
How come you
Yeah,
dropped
but
it then? Have the
that-
other people dropped out? Or?
That's just the O-ring, isn't it? For that.
Yeah,
that,
that's
that.
the O-ring.
That, see that? That one.
Oh, there. Yeah.
Yeah, but that's for that, look. Sits there.
Yes. Now he said we might see a chip out of it.
Oh,
No,
well
here
done.
it is here, look.
Oh, you
That's
must
the
feel
thing,
delighted.
I like it, that's clear.
How wonderful. Thank you, I'm delighted to
Throw
hear.
stuff away
Thank
from
you.
it, isn't it?
Bye.
Yes, they're not very good, are they?
So, what's your observations on that as we look at it?
We think it's a crack bearing.
And which, a crap or
Yeah.
cracked?
Crap. Crap seal, look. That's all you got.
There's the back of the tub too. Look, it's starting to rust.
Oh, that's the skin they put on it, isn't it?
Yes, but you think it'd be stainless steel inside?
That does seem extraordinary.
Now the water's got in these ones too. See, look down there. I'm going to have to clean that lot up.
So is the grease that you've got then a waterproof grease, that heavy grease?
Yeah.
Is that the idea? So is that what you put on prop shafts of motorboats and things?
Yes, this is what we use on the Hoyt bearings, and it works extremely well, doesn't it? Patrick.
So is it a non-standard in the sense that other washer people don't do it? But
I
none.
don't think anybody does, no. We've used it for years and years, haven't we, Patrick? Because we got fed up with the ordinary grease. Turns into... Well, I would think that is some sort of waterproof grease.
So that seal is an
Yes.
O-ring.
Yeah, that's
for
definitely-
Okay,
here.
and that's
That's for the
Folding
bearing
metal.
housing.
And that one there is for that one.
There.
Pushes up against there.
But there is... Oh, but so it has got two seals. There's that one, and there's that one
one.
there.
Yeah,
But it's got past both, obviously.
yeah.
to be fair, now is that what your running your nail along, Patrick, is that the bearing plate?
Yeah, that could be the bearing plate.
Because that's what he was saying. One replace is a matter of course.
Yeah.
So perhaps it's because that's got scored. We've got
look here, Patrick. Look, see, look, there's little marks on there. Look.
Yeah.
That's it. Look, something's got in there. Look, see.
Is that a pin there? No.
No, he said you'd probably see it. Can you see that, Jonathan? Because I can see. It's just at the top there. If you let me, it's just there. Can you look? If you get it, well, you've got your body in the way.
Oh yes, you can see the rubber's knackered. It's got little striations all the way along.
Yeah, see, look, it's
and
cracked.
There,
look,
oh yes,
see,
it's torn.
See, look, it's torn. It's actually torn. I can pick it up with my fingernail.
Yes.
You see?
Ever so clearly. And is that all the way round?
No, it isn't. It's just there, as it so happens, up at the top where we can see it. No, it's gone a little bit there.
So it's obviously on the way out.
So he was quite right, I think.
Okay, recording.
That's the colour of the grease as it should be.
As in the dark brown.
Dark brown. And that's where it's got water in it. The
There's
water
this
mixing
milky
with the grease makes it go watery, so it means that the water's got right through to the whole shooting match.
And this collar, or whatever it's called, not sure its technical term, are just pushed off by hand. No extractor tool required.
What? The colour, the extractor tool is required to pull
Yeah,
that
you will be.
colour
So,
off.
but I mean the bit my father was just holding.
Yeah, that goes round that back bit. That wire's got to come off there, Barry. Because we've got to manoeuvre it. Look, that goes round there.
There seem to be two cables, and you alternate the cables to slide things down the shaft.
Yeah, but this little
We have
box of tricks is going to have to
We have
go
an extractor
over there.
tool,
So
which we will be using.
After using the extractor tool at the end, the whole lot comes off the shaft. Just cleaning up the shaft. Patrick prizing the bearing to the bolts that we've just removed off the back of the bearing housing.
No, I don't want to shut it now.
Okay, just put it down and show where it went. Oh yes, that's it. That's the shaft plate taken off. Right.
Bearing plate.
Bearing plate. Right.
Up and down.
We think this comes off the main
My
housing.
mother-in-law sends her regards to you.
Is she?
Yeah.
Still alive, is she?
Removing the front bearing now. We've put the plates. If you can just remove your left hand, Patrick.
Hang on. I don't want to lose it.
Ah, right. Okay. See, we've put the plates in under exactly under the bearing, between the bearing and the grease keeping plate. I think that's what it's called. And then we tighten up the two nuts, and that should bring out the front bearing, which is a pretty massive effort. This is a bearing half out. The bearing out. Mixed up with a cup of coffee. Well deserved at this stage. Look down inside. Oh dear me. Or to discover which section is which.
Okay, so
I think it's terrible the way they've written those notes.
yes.
In fact, I think it's awful that they've had these things for years, and nobody's got down to just turning it from pidgin English into English.
As a matter of interest, did you show pictures of putting bearings in
Yeah.
and greasing them up?
Of greasing, well, yes. Well, because it just says fill it with grease, so you can't do fill it with grease.
So do you want to point to where you packed it with grease before you put that plate on?
Well, it's inside the bearing. I mean, you can see it's all empty. You've got the roller bearing, and you just fill it with grease. That's all I did.
So is that just inside that cover?
Fingers.
So is that just inside that cover?
Yes. Yes, that's the bearing in there, and I'm putting this plate on because when we put the shaft, put it on there, I don't want to knock that right out by mistake.
Yes. And
having
have you changed that bearing then? In the end?
Yeah, I've changed both of them. Well, they obviously both got water in them.
Yeah.
Because it had gone milky, and there was a drop of water at the back anyway. You could see that. Soon at this. We have got these little lock things on here, so I don't know whether this is necessary.
So this shaft here then, you've got the rubber thing on, and you've got a collar on there. Oh, that's the back of the bearing, is it?
Sorry, what?
Just looking at the bits you've got on here.
Which bits?
Well, that are on the shaft, what I'm looking at.
Well, that's a new shaft seal.
Yeah.
That whole lot will slide that away, and you get it off by putting the bearing extractor, which locks onto this thing here and pulls it right off. But it's going to be put back by a thing that goes on the back when you put this housing on, which is going to press up against the new seal we put in there. Hopefully it'll all go together all right.
Which is all put together with mastic.
Yeah. It's all ready to be put back in the machine now. Here we are, all screwed up. And all the nuts put on with Loctite. And there's a shaft all waiting to be put in. New seal all the way round. O-ring put in with the silicone sealer. Everything cleaned up. All the parts of the toolkit that were sent to us. All the parts of the toolkit that were sent to us. Part for holding the back of the drum up through the hole at the top. Part with the 3 rods for taking the front seal off, together with the back part, which screws into the back of the shaft. It then works in the reverse way so that we can put the thing back on again using the bit in here, which see, like so, that goes through into the back of the shaft, and then you can screw it forward and the whole lot pushes the main bearing on. That's the part that we should have 2 of but haven't, for holding the drum in position. This goes in the front of the tub for holding the tub firm against the front of the machine. Bearing extractor things, bits you put in and hit them. Another part for extracting bearings. Parts for undoing the nut on the rear of the back bearing next to the perforated disc. That is a part for holding up the back of the bearing. It should have a good thread there. We received one that was knackered, and the nut went up and down on the shaft. We didn't actually use this big spanner, so I'm not quite sure about that one. Well, that's the sum total. Few rods and a part for knocking out the rear bearing. This is a rear bearing. I think I haven't recorded just now, and it's cone shaped in the middle. You can't see the inner surfaces. Oh yes, you can. So this is a bit that would face towards the machine. If I turn it over, you'll see you can't see the inner part. You see? It's cone shaped the other way. So this would be a bit facing towards the rear of the machine. Helps it go on. Now, the front seal is this floppy one, which has 2 O-rings inside the thing that it fits on, and then the main seal in front of the main bearing is this one, which is a hard solid thing. So there we are. Main bearing, rear bearing. Right, this is Tuesday, 14th of May. Coming back to put the front on, the bearings on, a whole lot. There's a new set of tools. The inside. There we are. The heating rods, they are slightly bent. Whoops. Patrick getting his head in the way.
Let's leave that alone, Barry.
Yes, I think we're going to leave that alone because in case it cracks them or breaks a seal at the back. But otherwise...
Take a photograph of this back bit in case we've got to change the elements in the future. See how it's done? Yeah, it's welded, isn't it?
I think it goes in like the Rex ones.
Yeah.
It pushes in with a little bolt, and I expect there's another bit on the back end, isn't there?
Yeah, that's welded, obviously, I think, wouldn't you? That bit, Barry.
Oh yes, and it pushes through
a bracket.
A bracket at the front end, but there's no other bracket all the way through to the back.
No.
Actually, it would be better if it did have another bracket.
Yeah.
It would hold it in place a bit better.
Yeah, there, wouldn't it?
And it's got 2 sort of diverters here for the water to shoot the water into the drain.
Yeah.
Right, here's the back end of the heater elements. Yes, it's exactly like the Rex ones used to have. Little plate with a bolt in the middle. Three-phase. Side of the machine. Here's the rams that hold the thing. Oh, it's 1 at the front and 2 at the back. And going up there. We'll go around the other side just to check that.
Oh dear.
Now, I presume this bolts through, doesn't it? Whoops! Oh God, nearly took his fingers off. This bolts through to the
faceplate. That faceplate.
To the faceplate on the.
Yeah, this big one. One weighs about 4.
There we are, there's the front of the machine. And that faceplate bolts onto there. Now we're going to have to use the silicone sealer on that. Let's have a careful look at what it is. Oh, it's got two lifting points there. Here we are. It's the inside of the door lock, which I've never seen before. Door hinges. There's the drum ready to fit in. I'll go right down here so that we can get a view of the seal. There's the seal. Ah, now this is a Viton one because it's got the blue mark on it, which I can see there. It's made of Viton, which is better than the standard seal, but there is a better seal which is made specially for washing machines. This is a high temperature seal. That's this one here.
Yeah.
And see the blue mark, or purple mark, to be more precise.
Yeah.
So that should be good. Let me just... there it is. Just to prove it is that one. Good. So they've supplied the right one. Right, drum before it's being reinserted. And down the side, 3 holes. Nut on the back, welded on. I think there's a nut inside there too. I can't see. Is it? And it's welded on at the back end. Right. With a plate there.
No, I can't tip it.
Yeah, there's a nut inside. You're quite right, there is one there. Just one. Presumably the same thing at the top. Front end as well. I can't see it, but presumably that's... Now we got it in. I got the shaft in first, and then managed to get a big beam underneath it to lift the back lip up over the front lip of the machine, and then run it in. So very heavy. It took 4 of us to do it.
Yeah.
All the tools from the box. This is what we've received this time. inside one of those little chaps at the part way back. I jacked it up quite a height. I hope it's not going to pour with rain because it should have been done up. There we go, and done up. Get all the coffee and bickies.
Yeah, I think it is now. I just don't want all this crap going in. Probably won't, but...
These bolts line up. That with the ring inside. We capture the.
I should be able to knock these straight through.
Yes, and the whole front is bolted onto the back.
Should be
That bolt there and that bolt there. That locks it on, and the same the other side, so the whole thing's on straight. Got to get the thing lined up,
I can feel this.
and has to be lined up at that point there. That part there is the main plate, and that's the frame.
The drum,
And two should be in
wants-
line.
a bit of wood there, and a just.
By the way, I'll be going away in August. That's when I go away.
We've just got to knock the lug back so that we can get the undo this part. So one of the circular things.
So I'll get in there.
Tool off, that off.
There's Jonathan.
There
Right,
we
that's
are.
that.
Okay. Right. Now we've got to take all these bolts out before we take the next section out.
Well, no, we don't. We don't. The back bearing plate.
Being plate plus.
Okay.
Right, that's coming off now, leaving us as before.
With the collar to take off.
Yes, now we've got to remember when we put it back, the collar is chamfered in, or in the cone, and the bit inside of the bearing comes out with the narrowest point in and the widest point
That's
outside.
right, like that. A cone.
Yes,
See?
like a cone.
And there's
Right.
a narrow bit and there's the wide
We
bit.
showed it on a previous film, but we put it in back to front.
Chris Tickler did.
Right, we're screwing it on, ready to take this
Right,
out.
I'm taking the cone out. It's tight.
It's tight. Yes, well, it would be tight, wouldn't it? I expect this will suddenly go.
Yeah.
Right, that's shifted it.
Yeah.
How's it? Now we've got to be very careful to put this bit back next time. Right, now we'll take that piece out from the there we are. Right, so now that bit can now go down on the, now this is a second machine and we've located the fault on the seal. There we are. And it hasn't feathered out like on the first machine that we did. At least I don't think so. The oil is still brown, indicating the water hasn't got through to the bearings yet. Now here are the bearings.
Here we are. You see the oil is, well, grease is still brown, showing the water hasn't mixed up with it. You know, on the first machine it had all gone white and milky.
We're going to take the back bits off, but we first put the support bracket back with that piece the other way round, so that we can mount the extractors on the end of the shaft, because we want to get that piece off back there. So we've got to remove the wire next. Where's the plug? Oh yes, we put the plug in there so we don't damage the thread on the main shaft. Put that on like that. 3 bolts, which are, or 3 nuts and washers on, and then a big bolt in the end, wherever the big bolt is. There's a big bolt, and that big bolt goes in there, presses against the shaft and pulls that part off. This is what the big spanner's for. And that's to take the main bearing right. See how you damage this shaft.